I shit you not, I just made a whole video talking about this and I wasn't recording. You would think after about 8 years of doing this, I would understand to press record, but you know, it happens. It happens. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, bringing you another Titanfall 3 video. Yes, we have another leak, we have another discussion, and I'm ready to talk about this. Most of you guys who are familiar with the channel understand this is what we do, this is what I talk about. This is Titanfall 3, but for you new subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys one time and one time only, I discuss Titanfall 3 leaks, not because I'm interested in the game, which I am, but because I want Titanfall 3 and Respawn to set the paradigm and be the standard of gaming developers and the gaming communities as a whole. Everybody who's played Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2 really loves Titanfall 1, and Titanfall 2 has a well-rounded respect from almost every reviewer that I've seen to be the game that pushed the FPS genre forward. And what we need from Titanfall and Respawn is another banger. Now, with that said, I have said multiple times, I don't know when Titanfall 3 is coming out. I asked the question, but at the same time, I'm not trying to clickbait or pull anybody into Titanfall 3 saying it's going to be made. I have no clue. I'm just covering leaks that I'm seeing on the internet and insights I'm getting from people in my Discord, my DMs, or however I get this information and talking about it because I enjoy the game. I bought the original Titanfall on the Xbox 360 when it came out because I couldn't afford the Xbox One at the time, and then I played Titanfall 2 on the PS4 the day it dropped. So I'm a big Titanfall lover. I love Titanfall. I love Respawn games. I bought every game that they've had on the day the game comes out, excuse me. So again, we're here talking about Titanfall 3, not because we know it, but because we want them to make it, because they really do make great games. They make great first-person shooter games, and in my opinion, they're the best first-person shooter makers, yeah, that in the gaming industry, probably other than Bungie. Again, said that multiple times, but for you new guys, I gotta make that evident. So, transition time, let's talk about this article. Hell yeah. So here's the article right here from Game Rant. I don't really like Game Rant too much. I've covered them a few times, but I don't talk about them much. They're on the SJW wave. But again, everybody has their own, you know, beliefs and whatever the hell beliefs. I don't know if some SJW stuff is beliefs, but we'll go with it and we'll run with it. Titanfall 3 is up to Respawn, not EA. Again, Game Rant's covering it, so let's see if they make a good article here. But in a new interview, EA's chief studio officer clarifies that whether Titanfall 3 gets made or not is up to Respawn, though EA still has a say. This is really weird because Game Rant didn't stick to what the article is saying or title, which again, you know, it's not that impressive from Game Rant. They always do this shit. But nonetheless, Titanfall 3 is basically in the hands of Respawn. Now, we discussed multiple times with Titanfall 3 that Titanfall 3 was probably being held back from EA. I honestly said the same thing. I think EA, you know, EA bad. EA is such a bad producer and maker of games, and they don't really make games, but you know, they oversee the game, publish the game, that they don't really do the best decisions. I mean, look at what just happened to Anthem. Look what's happened to many of games. Look at the sports game, FIFA, Madden. They just aren't good at all anymore. But when it comes to Respawn, Respawn seems to be that glowing gem that EA has over or publishes the games over them that really stands out. And I think that started changing when Respawn made Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm trying to tell you that that game was so massive. And then with the Titanfall 2 success, a lot of people look at sales, but you know, people who care about video games don't look at sales that much. Getting caught up in sales and numbers and stuff like that, just it never ends up very well. But they've seen what Respawn was able to do with these last two games, and they're like, if we let Respawn take control of these games, we'll probably get better results. So don't believe the hype when EA chief studio officer or whoever the hell he is at this point says it's up to Respawn, or they come down later and they say it's up to the player community and the inspiration and motivation of developers. These are the same people who are talking about supply drops and supply boxes being, you know, surprise mechanics and all that stupid shit. Don't listen to them. But what I'm covering here is Titanfall 3, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So Titanfall 3 is rumored to be in development. I've talked about that multiple times. I don't know when it's coming out. You don't know when it's coming out. Nobody but the people working on it knows when it's coming out, or maybe they're not even working on it. But I have a strong hunch that something is being worked on for Titanfall 3. It's too big of a game. It's too much discussed. It's trended on Twitter. Trended on Twitter before. It's trended on many of different social media, so people are aware of it. The developers are aware of it, and EA is definitely aware of it. However, I just want to make this very clear again, guys. I don't know when it's coming out. I just like begging the discussion and putting the discussion out there, because that's why you have a YouTube channel. That's why I have a YouTube channel, and we want to hear things and discuss things around our favorite video games. And I definitely want Respawn to get back to making this. They always don't make these third games for some reason. They didn't make Modern Warfare 3. They had somebody else step in to help them, Sledgehammer Games at the time, and now Titanfall 3 is not being made by Respawn, or not currently being announced by Respawn. I just want to see a Titanfall 3. I want a game to come out to push the first-person shooter genre forward. We could say it would be Halo Infinite and Battlefield, but how much hope do we have in Halo and 343 and Battlefield and DICE at this point? We don't know. We'll have to see. But Titanfall 3 is something that I feel like if Respawn makes, they'll do a really good job at it. I mean, Apex is a solid game, and that's probably their worst first-person shooter that they've made. And I mean, that's just bar none. I mean, it's not better than Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2 or the Modern Warfare 1 and 2. It's probably not even better than Modern Warfare 3, and I really don't like Modern Warfare 3 like that. So I completely understand Respawn's decision behind, you know, kind of waiting and taking Titanfall 3. To be honest, Apex is doing really well, and they should still try to make sure that they can manage Apex, probably a new Star Wars game, and Titanfall, which is why they have absolutely made new studios, and new studios are opening for Respawn. However, again, I just want to state this and say this one more time for the YouTube. I'm excited for a Titanfall 3. I'll continue to talk about a Titanfall 3, and as many leaks and rumors come out, we'll cover it here, because the more we stay on the ass, the more they're going to get around to doing it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you excited for Titanfall 3? Are you looking forward to a Titanfall 3? Will you continue to press for a Titanfall 3? I know me and some of my hardcore YouTube subscribers will, but at the same time, man, it is what it is. I don't want to press these developers to rush a game or make a game that's bad. We already seen what happened to Cyberpunk and all the stuff going on with Cyberpunk and Anthem and all these other games. We need to see a polished game. We need to give the developers time to make a polished and really good game, and hopefully it builds upon the status of Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2, because that's what a third really does. It cements what the first, the second, and even the third one do as a whole for the genre and for the series as a whole. It's going to be really hard for them to do without a campaign in the first one, but again, we've got a sense of the Titanfall world, and I would love to see more. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry again, your boy, Zai AZ. Bless up. As always, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.